People order them too. It's really pretty funny.
Is your camera safe? Okay. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Good thing I'm getting paid a lot for this.
All right, well, you might want to try sauces. This is my original barbecue sauce. I literally been making this since the 80s. Won a bunch of barbecue contests with it back in the day. Sold it for a while, don't sell it, and it was just kind of sitting around as a recipe. So I brought it out when we started this project, and everybody liked it, but it's just not sweet enough for the modern barbecue freak. So we made Lee make a sweet sauce. not necessarily his thing, but it's pretty good.
It's really popular. Personally, I like something more bold, a little bit more spicy, but from our staff to our employees, they expect a sugar bomb, and so we have abided, we've accommodated.
And this is their third
It's very
sauce.
sweet.
This is well, like I said, that was the intention. This is our corporate chef, James. This was something he had used at a previous restaurant, and it's not as hot as we might want to have our hot sauce be, but whatever. It doesn't piss anybody off.
It doesn't make them raunchy.
I honestly thought everybody would just use the heck out of this, and the other two would fall by the wayside, and they haven't. It really, all three have gotten pretty equal amount of love. I mean, I don't know.
They're all different.
How much do you make?
Lee's is still number one, but it's like these two are pretty damn close, and I'd say that the mango habanero takes up about 20% of the market share.
Well, it's a weird little one. It's thin like that. It's kind of weird.
Yes, sir.
It's nice to have something different, you know. All right, what do we got, Lee?
All right, guys. So this is the most interesting protein on the plate for me. This is pork brisket. It is literally a brisket cut from a hog, and so the brisket, think of it as like the pectoral muscle, on a four-legged animal. So it is a tough, somewhat fatty cut of meat, but it has a lot of flavor, and if you cook it properly, it does tender up. It tenders up beautifully. What you're having right now, sir, that is brisket cut from the point, and so it is going to be more marbled, a little more tender, and obviously more fatty, but look.
He doesn't give that to everybody. I can tell you he likes you if he gave you that.
The point, that's where I go to. I mean, that's
Cool.
yeah, it's easy to chew. You're not gonna work your jaw off eating it. And anyway, the fat, I feel like fat somehow has a negative connotation, but we pay for the fat. We pay for the cattle to have that marbling in it.
Yeah.
Because it really is flavor. I know it's cliche, but whatever.
Well, and it's one of the challenges we have here. We like leaving the fat on the meat. We're not cutting all the fat off. Some people just don't like that, and we can't help that. What are we going to do? We're not going to cut all the fat off to appease them.
It's still your restaurant, so at the end of the day.
Most folks get it, frankly, but pleasantly surprised.
Yes, sir.
Keep going.
Well, okay, so moving south of the pork brisket, this is pork belly. I guess all these meats right here are a pretty quick cook. They're cooked a little bit hotter, and especially for the pork belly, that's important. We score the top, score that fat cap, and when it's exposed to the high heat, some of that fat that I was just talking about does render out, but it crisps up as well. And so pork belly, obviously, it's the same cut as bacon, but we don't cure it, we just smoke it.
We buy Compart pork. Compart is a family farm in Minnesota. I know the guy. It's a favorite of all the competition guys, but I'm not necessarily a sucker for that, but it's just better pork. It's a family farm. It's a big one at this point, but little family farms can't support us.
Yeah,
it's just
they have
delicious.
to be able to scale.
Yes, sir.
Right?
He's growing Duroc hogs, but he's got a breeding program like a small farm, where they ultrasound them and they breed their best ones back in. And I don't think we could buy anything better. Not only the flavor, but the consistency. Look at that pork butt. They regularly, that's what they look like every day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That's true.
and that's the key. I mean,
And I've cooked back home. I was only doing commodity pork. I'd spent more money on the beef, but pork was pork to me until I was really introduced. And I really do believe in Compart Duroc. I mean, it's
pricey.
spoiled, man. It is.
But luckily, our guests have not.
your guests are okay with that.
Yes, sir.
Which is important when it comes to meat, right?
Absolutely.
You can't give people cheap meat and expect it to be quality.
We sure don't want to. I mean, if we had to, we had to, but we didn't start that way.
Then let's move from the belly to the ribs, because this is, I think, where you're really going to highlight the quality of the pork. Ray and I, we can make, an incredibly complicated rub, but this is salt and pepper. Quarter cracked pepper is really good pepper, kosher salt, and it allows the meat to really shine. And you get the sweetness of the meat, you get the tenderness, the marbling. It's phenomenal. Please try the rib. I mean, that's
The brisket's
Thank you, sir.
I didn't think anything. Do you like Holy Hog? I think it's Holy Hog.
I don't know that I've been, sir.
They
It's a chain. It's all over town, pretty much.
Yes, sir.
Danny.
I met Danny. Really nice man for sure.
I've only had it at the Lightning games. I always have the brisket in the Chase Lounge.
The spot
Fish
downtown's
bun.
pretty good, actually. They're like right next to the Tampa Bay Costco.
Oh yeah.
Oh, downtown.
Right where the police station is.
Yes, sir. Okay, cool.
In Tampa.
Gotcha. I don't cross the bridge as much anymore.
That's me.
Partial to St. Pete.
I've gotten really bad about not wanting to go out for barbecue anymore either.
Really?
For one, you get tired of it. Second,
Yeah.
it's freaking good.
And then you go to a place that isn't, and now you're hyper critical.
I go eat
You're like, I make it
I go eat
better.
some barbecue that's not as good as ours. As terrible as that is, it's really good. And I mean, I wouldn't say that if I didn't believe it.
Oh, thanks, Ray. So, ribs, that's something I am proud of. I did the same thing back in Texas, except I was using an IBP or something like that, Seaboard. Yeah, that is the rib. It is salt and pepper.
It's very good.
Thanks, man. If it means anything, Daniel Bond really likes the ribs. He loved my ribs.
So far, everything is the pork, 2 pork things, the brisket, the ribs, get only salt and pepper, period, and oak smoke.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
the way to do it.
Keeping it real.
Yes, sir. All right, let's go. I'll go a little bit lighter, and we'll finish with the burn-in. So, move over here. This is turkey. This is a turkey breast. Brine it 48 hours. A big part of the brine is Ray's hot chicken rub, so you get a little bit of spice in there. I really like it. It's actually it was a hard sell at first. Since the sales have picked up a lot, but I think people are thinking it's going to be your poor old granny's, dry Thanksgiving turkey, but that's definitely not the
It is very
case.
moist.
Yes, sir.
Well, one of the things, I'll brag on Lee a little bit, but him and his team are doing every day, every piece of meat, everything we're eating here. Think about this. It's got cold at exactly the right time. It's barbecue. It's rolling around in there. If you leave it on an extra hour, it's not going to be the same. You take it off an hour early. I mean, everything.
Timing is key.
Right.
Yes, sir.
But knowing when, feel it, and know this is the time to take this off. And turkey, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's so easy to dry out the turkey.
Yes, sir.
Just look at Thanksgiving, though, like most people's houses, right?
Guys, this one, this
What
is
you
a
doing, Lise? I see that.
Yeah. It's sort of healthy.
Ray and I have we've had some funny conversations about this. So these are burn ends. It is, with Kansas City, but it's the point of the brisket. So like this part I was talking about, the super marbled end of the brisket, and we smoke it, salt and pepper, and then after it's out, we'll cube it, and then we'll put it in a essentially glaze of brown mustard, brown sugar, and cook it until it creates this thick, sticky syrup, and people love it to death. They absolutely can't get enough of it. We'll sell out every day. Doesn't matter if I
That's
get
our
nothing
gooey,
but burn
sticky
ends.
barbecue. You really got to have gooey, sticky, sweet barbecue. Get the burn.
That's it.
The gochujang ribs, but still. different.
For me, sweet beef is it's not for me. It's not my favorite thing in the world, and I don't know if I should be on record saying that, but it's
Well, personally, at least.
yeah, I
You're
like
Texas guy.
yeah,
You don't put that on
exactly.
beef.
Yeah.
But I can't deny the popularity of it, and objectively, it is good. That's just not how I personally want to eat the meat. But that's not what we're here for.
Yeah. You guys are a restaurant.
Right.
Feeling customers
Well, I
and
mean,
stuff.
we got a lot of options.
Yeah.
You don't have to eat that, but it's
Yeah.
amazing how many people do like it.
Yes, sir.
So So we were talking before about it, like bastardizing traditional things.
Yeah.
Burnt ends. Well, burnt end, not necessarily with the sauce. Burnt ends typically to meat. It's the brisket point. We're able to buy just the point.
Yeah.
In food service, and that's what we use. And you wither without the glaze, but it's the point muscle of the brisket. Well, all the rage on the internet now is anything cut into a cube is a burnt end. Pork belly burnt ends. I'm sorry, that does not exist, and I've gotten sideways with some pretty important food writers over this because it's just ridiculous.
I mean, but food is ridiculous now if you look at the trends, you know. I just saw something yesterday where they're pouring espressos into avocados and scooping out the pit. And then I sent it to a coffee shop owner in Tampa, and he was like, "Hell will freeze over before you see this in my coffee shop." And I was like, "But it sells." Okay.
You know people would buy it. That's the
No, I'm like, just sell it with avocado toast, right?
yeah, avocado.
But that's where we are in the food world right now. It's very trendy, but even then, people
Well, and
appreciate
Carlos, I'm going to
traditional.
partially blame you for this, but we've become where plate of food is much more important how it photographs than how it eats.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to partially
Instagram.
blame you for that.
I didn't create Instagram, and I don't deny that I
You
use
encouraged it.
But I mean, I have to use it. Everybody does now. You know, it's just the world we live in.
Yes, sir.
It's become very visual,
Yes, sir.
and that's why presentation matters.
But can't
you know?
we care about, like, it looks really good and it eats really good? I mean, the stuff that you see people do, it's like, that looks repulsive to me. It made for a really cool, clickbait's
Yeah, that's
the
where
word that I keep getting back to lately. It seems to be all the rage. It's just everything.
I mean, just look at food writing right now in general, you know? It's very like top 10, you know, or whatever. You know, just because it goes viral the minute that you publish it, it creates arguments, you know?
Yeah, right. Everybody's got an opinion. They all got to check in.
And the whole point of
All right,
like,
what else we got? Anything?
to do that.
Well, I was gonna say, these are in-house pickles. They really do. They cut through the heaviness, the greasiness of the barbecue, so I think it is a good palate cleanser as well. This purple slaw, it is purple slaw agave syrup. We pickle our own mustard seeds as well. Toss it together, and again, it's another lighter, refreshing, and it is a vegan option for a side, but it does cut the heaviness that is inherent to barbecue.
Well, our other slaw, it's such a puzzle putting this together, and especially with Suzanne not letting us just go the easy route with stuff. So my wife makes this blue cheese, bacon and blue cheese coleslaw, ranch dressing, blue cheese, slaw mix, and then bacon. And so I brought that to the table, and I was like, people really like this. So we're a little scared that people won't, blue cheese can be a tricky ingredient.
It really is.
So we made the opposite slaw as well. So we have two slaws. We have the creamy bacon, blue cheese, ranch dressing slaw, and we have this one, which is a vinegary. And it's actually been the perfect combination. People like them both.
Okay.
They have their fans. The blue cheese is not freaked out as many people as I thought it would.
It's arguably more popular. Or if I was going to eat one of them, it would be the blue cheese. But going back to what photographs, well, this is colorful.
Yeah.
And
On the filter, it's gonna
fatty
really pop
barbecue,
your eye.
like on a sandwich. We'll put that on a sandwich.
Yes, sir. The blue cheese slaw, though, it is great. And it's at least 4-to-1 blue cheese purple. We sell a lot of it.
There should be some cubes in there. Don't be so angry.
Do you
Oh,
find
there was one piece.
people? Do you guys have vegan and vegetarian options, sir?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we have a
Do you find a lot of people still asking for things like that? Because I always find it interesting as far as barbecue businesses go.
No, we hit it head on. When we opened the door, we had 30 vegan options on the menu. I'll show you in a
That's
minute.
insane.
Yeah.
For a barbecue.
We're down from that now, but we're still well in the 20s.
Yeah.
And some, like our Brussels sprouts, are made with beef tallow. You can get them made with olive oil as well. So there's some that you have to adjust. But we got a ton of vegan stuff. And actually, we knew this neighborhood where we are.
Yeah.
And it's really been appreciated.
Okay. I always
Actually,
wonder about
we
that.
haven't gotten as much attention. See, that was one of my beefs with the creative loafing. They ignored the fact that okay, if you want to have a different angle on our story, how about that one? That this is a barbecue restaurant that has a ton of vegan options. The guy said, you see that butter that was with the cornbread thing?
Yeah.
Called it a Malibu Barbie condiment. That's some quality food writing.
Oh, you got
Let's talk
reviewed.
about John Palmer.
Go read that review. And,
I will.
And you'll understand why.
I probably did when it came out.
I mean, anybody's going to be like that, though. I mean, when it comes to food critics and restaurateurs, and chefs, there's always going to be that, like, why did they write it this
Quit
way?
being so nice to that guy, Carlos.
Everybody's different, Like, but in the end, you know, everybody has a different opinion, and that's just one person's opinion. And that's what I tell people when I don't like a place personally as a writer. I'm like, look, I didn't like it. Somebody else may, and they do. And places that I've written bad reviews for have survived through all that. You know.
And he writes.
You know,
I don't know what he, rated you guys at or whatever, but he writes very few good reviews. Like you hardly
that's
see
kind of
like.
because he's a classical critic. In classical criticism, normally they don't write good reviews, and that's why people like them.
Oh, yeah.
And as a food writer, you know, like there's food writers who appeared in the last 10 years who've disappeared by now, who were revered for just trashing places all day. And I was like, look, this is kind of.
Pete Wells.
You know?
I mean,
Like,
let's talk about
you know?
the Pete Wells interview of Guy Fieri's restaurant.
Yeah, but that was great just from like a reading
It was
point of
funny,
view. It was funny.
But it was Pete Wells making a name for himself, and he succeeded.
Oh, and look at Guy
you know?
Fieri now. Like it's like popular to attack Guy Fieri. And
Right.
Eater just wrote a story about that recently. They
Either
were
writes
like,
about him constantly.
well, they wrote a story that was basically saying, just because it's cool to attack him, that doesn't mean that you should. And I was like, you guys are the ones who probably started
They do
this,
it all
you
the
know?
time.
But
They never pass up.
because you know now he has a chicken chain, you know, and all this other stuff.
He's got more than we even know.
I was like, his
You-
restaurant
you-
opened
you
in
knew the
Times
real
Square. Did you
numbers.
really expect it to be like a top-level gourmet restaurant in Times Square?
Exactly.
You know,
You
like
think
this
it
is a
was good,
tourist
man.
attraction.
Yeah.
It's like opening in the middle of like Busch Gardens or something like that, and
Sure.
expecting it to be like a five-star
So the
experience.
sister restaurant is the Heartland Brewery of that one. It's gone now. That one's closed.
Yeah.
The Heartland Brewery in the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
You know, complete tourist trap.
Yeah.
Never been reviewed.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why they reviewed
well,
Guy's restaurant.
Because it does good in ratings.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
So.
Did you guys see the comedian that like stuck up